After the fellowship began to crumble, the other pastors who were also Ayo's prayer partners began to notice that Ayo had changed in so many ways. For example, he began to miss their weekly prayer sessions and no longer showed up for Bible study. In fact, it was almost like Ayo had changed into a totally different person. While the other pastors were observing Ayo, they had no idea that Ayo was going through so many struggles that he told no one about. Even though Ayo never saw Bisi physically again, every night, whenever he slept, Bisi would show up in the form of a young girl and Ayo would make love to her. Other times, she would come in the form of a big snake, the same one Ayo saw in his dream, but Ayo could not still tell anyone, not even his parents. Ayo did not know, but constantly sleeping with Bisi in his dreams weakened him spiritually, which was why he suddenly lost interest in all the things he was formerly passionate about. It wasn't until members stopped showing up at the fellowship that Ayo realized that he had to do something urgently. By this time, it was already too late because he could no longer pray like he used to. If Ayo tried to pray, he would suddenly feel sleepy, and the moment he closed his eyes, Bisi would appear in his dream and they would make love. One day, while Ayo was in his apartment, he heard a knock on his door. When he opened it, he was shocked to see Bisi. Unlike the first time, Bisi showed up in a long dress. This time, she wore a top that exposed her cleavages, with a very short skirt that barely covered her thighs. "What do you want here, you daughter of Satan?" Ayo asked Bisi in a furious tone. "Ouch!" Bisi exclaimed. Then she pushed Ayo from the door and walked inside his living room. "Did you miss me?" Bisi asked with a mischievous smile. "Miss you? You have wrecked my life. Why won't you leave me alone?" Ayo yelled. "Why are you so angry? I came bearing good news," Bisi said in a calm voice. "Listen, I'll close my eyes and count until 3. Before I open my eyes, I want you out of my house." Ayo yelled. "I know you've been looking for a solution to your problem, and we can help you," Bisi said. We? Ayo asked in a confused tone. "Yes, we. At first, we thought of eradicating you from this campus, but after a long consideration, we think you can be useful to us," Bisi said. "What do you mean?" Ayo asked. Don't worry your little head. You won't understand for now," Bisi answered. "You must be stupid to think that I will accept help from the devil. God called me to this ministry, and he will rescue me from the snares of the wicked," Ayo said. "Oh, Ayo, you're still filled with the word. It's sad that you don't know you betrayed your God," Bisi said with a mischievous smile. "We know you miss performing your miracles, and it must be very shameful for you to watch your members decrease in number every day," Bisi added. "How did you know that? Have you been monitoring me?" Ayo asked. We have eyes everywhere. But that's not why I'm here. I came to make a deal with you. My coven can give you all the power and wealth you want. You can expand more than the small fellowship you're pastoring and become the next biggest pastor in this Lagos," Bisi said. "I already told you that I cannot accept an offer from the devil. So do not waste your time," Ayo barked aggressively. Ayo, Bisi called seductively. "There's no need to be so aggressive. The damage has already been done. The only thing you can do to salvage this situation is to become one of us," Bisi said. If I do, what's in it for you? Ayo asked. Oh, it's nothing you cannot do. We just need you to sleep with your female church members, and in return, you will be so wealthy and your church will overflow every Sunday with members. Bisi said, God forbid! I can never do such a thing. How will my female church members look at me if I start sleeping with them? They will lose respect for me. Ayo said, the last thing you should be worried about is respect. And please, stop pretending like you have not been having lustful thoughts towards every woman you look at. I can even tell you want me badly right now. Bisi said with a smile. Let's say I agree to do as you have said. What will happen to these women if I sleep with them? Ayo asked. Oh, don't worry about that. Also, it's not every woman you will sleep with. You will see a sign on the kind of women we want. And once you see that sign, you will know what to do, Bisi said. Even though Bisi did not tell Ayo what would happen to every woman he slept with, Ayo knew something terrible would happen to them. Thank you for your offer, but I still stand my ground. I will not sin against my God or do the disgusting acts you have asked me to do. Please, leave my house, Ayo said. That's bad. I thought we were on the same page, Bisi said. God forbid! We are not even in the same book. I cannot be unequally yoked, Ayo said. If you change your mind, all you have to do is think about me and I'll be here, Bisi said before walking out of Ayo's apartment. That day, after Bisi left Ayo's apartment, Ayo could not stop thinking about everything Bisi had told him. Already, the fellowship membership had been reduced to just him and the other pastors. Without an explanation, students stopped showing up, and no matter how much Ayo and the other pastors tried to persuade them to attend the fellowship, no one came. Not only that, but all the other fellowships that used to invite Ayo for their programs also stopped inviting him. It was almost like Ayo no longer existed. Is this how I will disappear like a chaff blown into the wind? I was powerful and everyone respected me. What will they now say happened to all the miracles I used to do? No, I cannot let this happen, Ayo soliloquized. I have to save my face. I refuse to be like the other pastors who folded up their ministries in less than a year. It cannot be me, Ayo added. That same day, while Ayo was in his room mulling over the right decision to make, his father called and told him to come home that evening. Ayo! His father called after Ayo settled down. Yes, Papa, Ayo answered. Is everything all right with you? You can talk to me. I'm your father, Ayo's father said. Yes, everything is fine, Ayo lied. How is the fellowship? Ayo's father asked. Papa, it's great. God is still moving mightily, Ayo lied again. Ayo, for a while now, I have been having some weird dreams about you, and it's getting me worried, Ayo's father said. As soon as Ayo's father said that, Ayo's heart began to race. In the past, he knew that whenever his father had dreams that got him worried, they were usually cues from God. Papa, if I may ask, what were the dreams about? Ayo asked. My son, it doesn't matter what the dreams were about. I want you to know that if you ever deviate from God's path, you can always return to Him. Our God does not condemn us. He is a forgiving Father. And once you confess your sins to Him, He will forgive you, Ayo's father said. When Ayo's father said that, Ayo thought of opening up about his struggles to his father, but because he did not want his father to be disappointed in him, he kept it to himself. Thank you, Papa. Don't tell me it's because of your dreams that you asked me to come home, Ayo said in a bid to act natural. Yes, since you have said that everything is fine, then there is no reason for me to be worried, his father answered. If you have other things you want to do at the fellowship, you can go back, he added. No, Papa. I'm free this evening. Let me just spend time with you. Hopefully, Mama will return home to cook on time, Ayo said. Ayo spent the rest of that evening watching TV with his father. After he had dinner with his parents, he returned to his apartment. About 30 minutes after Ayo returned, something happened. Ayo was in his room when the other two pastors rushed to call him. A girl on campus suddenly ran mad, and her friends managed to take her to Ayo's apartment, expecting that Ayo could heal her. Pastor Ayo, we have a problem. Please come out, one of the pastors said as he knocked on Ayo's door. What is it? Ayo asked immediately after he opened the door. But before the other pastor could answer, Ayo had already figured out what was wrong. He had seen the people in the living room and the mad girl who had been tied down. We need you to pray for this girl. Her friend said she was normal all day. Then suddenly, she started talking to an invisible being. And then this happened, the other pastor explained. Ayo knew that he could no longer perform miracles, but he still walked to the scene to pray for the girl. After praying for about 15 minutes and nothing happened, the students in the room and the other pastors began to look at him in a weird way. In the past, Ayo would only pray for a minute and mighty miracles would happen. When Ayo saw the disappointment in the eyes of the other pastors and the students, he wished Bisi could help him. Immediately, Ayo thought of Bisi. He felt a strange energy enter his body, and the moment he placed his hands on the mad girl, she regained her sanity. Ah! Pastor Ayo! God has used you again, the other pastors and the students said as they danced in the living room. Thank you, Lord, for using your servant again, one of the pastors said. While the students and the other pastors were singing and thanking God for the miracle, Ayo knew it wasn't the power of God he used to perform the miracle. The desperation to save his face and name forced him to ask for help from Bisi. That night, after Ayo returned to his room, Bisi appeared, but she was dressed in a red garment this time. How did it feel to save that mad girl? Bisi asked. I have nothing to say to you, Ayo said. Oh, Ayo, you do. In fact, I'd love to tell you that you're now a part of us. So enough with the toughness, Bisi said. Just because you helped me does not mean I'm now a part of your coven, Ayo said. Oh, please, cut the crap. You don't ask for help from the devil if you don't accept the devil's deal, Bisi said. Remember what we discussed earlier today. All you have to do is sleep with the women we have marked, and your wealth and fame will grow, Bisi said. I don't ever want to ever embarrass myself like that again. If you promise to always help me, then we have a deal. After all, no one could tell it wasn't the power of God, Ayo said. Now you're talking, Ayo. You're smart, and I like that. From tomorrow, you will understand that we have the power to make and mar men of God on this campus. Get some rest. You have a long day ahead of you, Bisi said before she disappeared. Just as Bisi had said, the next morning, something unexpected happened. Around 9 a.m., Ayo was in the living room when some men in neatly ironed black suits showed up at his apartment. Ayo did not know, but the girl he had delivered the previous night was the only niece of the governor of Lagos State. When the governor heard what Ayo had done, he sent some men to bring him. Upon meeting with the governor gave Ayo a lot of money and even promised to give him a building to expand his church. Meanwhile, while Ayo was meeting with the governor, He had no idea that the news of the miracle he performed had even reached the VC of the university he formerly attended, and the VC wanted to see him too. To Ayo, it was almost like everything was working in his favor. In fact, he had more recognition in a day than in all the months of his fellowship. With the money and free building that the governor gave Ayo, he started a new church. In the twinkling of an eye, Ayo became very popular. Almost everyone on campus and in Lagos State were talking about him. And for the first time ever, Ayo recorded the largest attendance in his fellowship. He even performed the kind of miracles that made it to the local TV stations in Lagos. But then, things did not go as smoothly as Ayo had anticipated. He could fool everyone, but not the other pastors and his parents. Aside from that, Ayo expected that he would last in ministry, but he had no idea that there were dire consequences for everything he had done and that he was just a pawn in BC's clever game. Watch out for part 3. Did you enjoy this story? Tell us your favorite part in the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Also, do not forget to follow our channel on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.